Okay, my very first vlog. What am I going to talk about today? Well, I wanted to talk about the coronavirus situation here in Thailand, but I'm not going to talk about how it's affected me. I wanted to talk about how it's affected the people here in Thailand and sort of give you some background on ways people are helping each other out. But before I get started on that, I wanted to talk about some facts about Thailand to give people a little bit of perspective on why things are the way they are, and especially for my friends who are living in the US or Europe and so on. If you've never been here before, I just kind of wanted to give you some background on what's going on here. So, first things first, Thailand is a country that relies on tourism. About 20% of the country's GDP comes from tourism, and about 38 million people visited the country last year. And as of right now, there are 0 people arriving. Zilch, nada. The airports are shut down. The only people who are being allowed to fly into the country are Thai nationals who are returning from overseas, and even that's limited to about 200 or so people a day. It's not a lot because those people have to go into a mandatory 14-day quarantine period, and during that quarantine period, there's only so much space that they can house those people. So, it's not been a lot of people coming in. And with 20% of the country's GDP coming from tourism, there's a lot of people who they just don't have a paycheck. They don't have a job. They may not have a job when things are over. There's a lot of worry out there. There's a lot of people who are wondering, how the country is going to bounce back. But it's not just tourism. Everything has been shut down. Shopping malls, restaurants, everything has been closed. And all those people who are out of jobs, they may be going back, but they may not, because nobody knows how many people are going to flock back to shopping malls when the restrictions are lifted. So things are kind of bad here right now. So people have been setting up these roadside pantries. And basically the idea is very simple. If you are somebody who has the means to, you leave things. And if you're somebody who needs things, you take what you need. The Thais call it, Tu Pan Suk. I'm sure I mispronounced that. And it's sort of like the pantry for sharing. And all along the streets in certain areas, they've set up these little pantry areas. And inside those pantries, people come by and they leave, ramen noodles, they leave canned goods, they leave household items, they leave hygiene products, they leave whatever they think people are going to need to get through this, and people who can come by and they can take it, and there's no questions asked, and nobody is made to feel ashamed for taking from the pantries. It's all on an honor system. Like I said, it's a simple concept. Those that have provide, those that need take what they need. Now, the idea was inspired by something that was done in the U.S., and maybe you have something like that in your neighborhood, and maybe you don't. But it's taken off like wildfire here in Thailand. They started off on April 27th with just 4 or 5 locations, and it's grown to over 618 locations across the country today, where people are just setting out these pantries, and then they put a little sign on there telling people, hey, if you have extra, leave it. If you need something, please take it. And people have been doing that. So today, my wife, Ged, and I, we went and we left some food at one of the pantries at a Buddhist temple here, and we kind of wanted to take you along for that journey. First off, I want to apologize. The mic was not plugged in correctly to the camera, so I got no audio. I had to kill the audio on that, so I'll do the voiceover on it. It's the first vlog. I'm going to have technical glitches, but enjoy it. And if you have these in your neighborhood and you're here in Thailand, please leave some food. Please look for them. You may not have noticed them. They're easy to drive by and not see them. But if you see one, try to make an effort if you're able to. And if you're in the U.S., same thing. You may not have known what those things are, but hopefully, you see them now and you understand that these are just to help people get by. So, with no further ado, here's our little trip today. Our first order of business for the morning was to go to 7-Eleven and pick up some stuff to take to the pantry. Of course, you have to get your temperature scan. They used to have this outside before you went in, but I'm guessing that people started complaining about standing out in the heat all day. All good, no corona. And now to find some ramen noodles. Plenty of selection. When they first announced the lockdown, these aisles were empty, except for the cheese-flavored ramen. Every 7-Eleven and Tesco had plenty of cheese-flavored ramen. I guess that goes to show that even if it's between starving and cheese-flavored ramen, people would rather starve. And after paying the electric bill and paying for the food, we're off to the temple. These are the little pantries. They had a refrigerator one, which was a bit of a surprise, but it was good. That meant people could drop off water or they could drop off refrigerated goods and they would keep. We wanted to respect people's privacy, so we didn't film, but just in the short time we were there, we probably saw, I don't know, maybe 6 different people come up and take 1 or 2 items from the pantry. So it seems to be working the way that it's intended to. People take what they need, people leave what they have. Hey, so I hope you enjoyed the video. If you did, go ahead, like, subscribe, do whatever you're supposed to do. And until next time,